Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Well, this is your captain speaking. Welcome to USA Prepares, where converging threats are confronted daily. With us today, we have Dr. Norman Shealy. Welcome, Dr. Shealy.
Good morning, John. How y'all?
I got a call early this morning. Vincent's okay, but there's a problem with his cows. They decided to go wandering on down the road, so he's got to go round them up today. Oh, the joys of being a farmer, and I think he really needs to come up with better excuses for not being on the air, because the truth is just too unbelievable. I think he should have said that his cows decided to go out on a eat more chicken campaign.
Oh, my, yes. Well, it's an interesting world, and there are challenges every moment of every day.
So what did you have on tap for today?
Well, I've just started. I haven't finished yet. An editorial that I'm doing for the next issue of the Journal of Complementary and Integrative Comprehensive Integrative Medicine, called the Nitrate Dilemma. I'm sure you are aware of the huge manga scare that came around last week from the World Health Organization about the risk of processed meats and cancer. And then, of course, in there was one little sentence, well, the risk is very small and most people don't need to worry. But the headlines around the world were, meat causes cancer, not even processed meat. But more importantly, what they did not even go near is the fact that we have known for decades that it's not really the nitrates and the nitrites that are the problem. It's a deficiency of vitamin C and vitamin E. If you have adequate vitamin C and vitamin E, nitrates are wonderful for you. There are a dozen papers showing the benefits of nitrates in your diet. But you've got to have adequate vitamin C and vitamin E intake. Now, most people don't have that. And that's been known for 40 years, that most people, the old so-called recommended daily intake by your government, I refuse to claim it as mine, is 60 milligrams a day. Well, Dr. Saraskin showed back in the 70s that the optimal dose then, which is 35 years or more ago, was 1,000 milligrams a day, 15 plus times the so-called recommended daily intake. And so if you're not getting adequate, normal vitamin C, nothing's going to work well anyway, but especially a few extra milligrams of nitrates might be harmful to you, but not as harmful as a lack of vitamin C and vitamin E. So, it bothers me that the media sucks so badly and almost never gives you the full report in both sides of the story. Beets, for instance, are one of the very best natural sources of nitrates and nitrites. Excellent. And, of course, they come with some vitamin C, although not any vitamin E to speak of. And so people need to be told that if you pay attention to the media, you'll die. It doesn't matter what you eat. If you pay attention to the media, you're going to die sooner rather than later. The media is as dangerous to your health as anything I know. It's like an atomic bomb that's already gone off. Other than that, I'm fine.
Yeah. Drink your fluoride, take your vaccinations, and enjoy the radiation.
Well, speaking of fluoride, the one thing that's almost never really discussed about fluoride, it causes a pseudo transgender type. I'm being semi-facetious because it actually can lead to all kinds of hormonal distress, especially in men. It blocks it. The sperm count in men has decreased by over 70% in the last 65 years. And I suspect the number one cause of that is fluoride. And in addition to making men into semi-hermaphrodites, it also totally disrupts your thyroid function. And so one of the reasons that a huge majority of Americans have relative hypothyroidism is that the thyroid gland cannot distinguish in making its thyroxine between fluoride and iodine. So if you're drinking fluoride water, you're getting much more fluoride than you're getting iodine, and it gets deposited in your thyroxine, or your T3, T4, and biochemically, it doesn't work. Therefore, you are relatively hypothyroid, even though your so-called blood tests look normal, because the lab cannot distinguish between fluoride and iodine in the T3 and T4. That's just another of my soapbox issues.
Yeah, that was one of the things I learned from Dr. Jerry Tennant, even before I met you in Springfield. And another thing I learned from him that, kind of surprised me was how bad trans fats are for you. When your cell gets made out of trans fat instead of normal fat, the fat that normally acts as the insulator to create a capacitor to store energy can't. So your cells turn into a dead battery, and it stays that way until the cell gets replaced. It's not like you can just eliminate it out of your body like some other things that you ingest that shouldn't be there.
John, we have known this since 1960. I mean, here we are, well over half a century later, and it's still there. And then look at what the bread industry's done. In addition to having all the bread in the country made out of Roundup, essentially. It doesn't matter what else is in it when there's Roundup poison in it. They've added bromine. Bromine is another poison. So they bromated the flour, even if it wasn't Roundup and genetically modified in other ways, so that wheat has become, especially in the last 30 years, the bête noire of the whole food industry. It may be overall worse than trans fats, although, is an assault rifle better than a machine gun? I don't know.
I came across...
Anything good going on, John?
Occasionally I come up with some good news.
Well, there was an interesting vote in Houston yesterday.
Yeah. It's good that, people are at least right now standing up for some sense. Although I tell you, Dr. Shealy, if I'd been given the option back in junior high and high school where I could shower with the girls, I would have been a lot more interested in PE.
But that's not because you wanted to change genders. You just wanted to go through your adolescent rise, if you will.
I'd just say I was confused and thought I was a girl,
Right. Yeah, well, I have a son who is a psychologist who says that he does not see how I can be so insensitive as to question transgender. I call something like some artificial food transgender. And he thought that was an offensive statement to make to the poor transgender people, whom I think are psychologically maybe slightly sicker than the people who allow them and assist them in changing gender. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, and especially there's so many factors in there, and we like to try and make things simple and just point to one factor, but there's multiple factors with the toxins and the malnutrition and all these come together and cause different things, and and we're at the point where we're reaping what we've sown, and not in a good way.
Yes. And unless it turns around next year, it's over. If we don't have the most radical change in politics with next year's election, the country's dead forever.
Well, and now they're trying, they've got on tap over 100 new vaccines, and they're trying to make it mandatory.
Oh, yes. I just wrote an exemption, hopefully, for a nurse who got a very serious reaction to the last flu shot that she had over 10 years ago, and now they're trying to force her to have one. And, if she had her whole arm swell up the last time she got it, this time it could be her whole body.
Well, since I learned about your vitamin D protocol, I've only been sick once. And the only reason that was is I didn't know the other part of your protocol about taking more when you feel something come on.
Yeah, let's go through that, because it is approaching winter and the time has come, the walrus said. If you, as an adult, weigh 140 pounds or more, then your intake of vitamin D3 should be a minimum of 7,000 units a day. And the easiest way and cheapest way to get that is to take 50,000 units once a week. If you weigh under 140, maybe you'd do better off just to take the 50,000 every 2 weeks. I have been on the 50,000 once a week for 10 years, and I haven't had a flu or a cold. And we'll go more after this.
And we'll be right back after these few short messages.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Thousands of people seeking home security get ripped off every day, and the home security industry wants you to believe that's your only option. They've got hordes of salesmen out there trying to scare you into signing one of their long-term contracts. You get stuck writing huge checks month after month with no way out. It's robbery by contract, and it can cost you thousands. But there's a better way to protect your home. Simply Safe Home Security. Simply Safe has no contracts. None. You'll get award-winning 24/7 protection. Security professionals watching over your home, ready to instantly send police to the rescue for just $14.99 per month. That's less than half what most companies charge. Protect your home the smart way. Visit simplysafedefense.com today for an exclusive 10% offer and get a free keychain remote worth $25. Only when you go to simplysafedefense.com. simplysafedefense.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common-sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Hey, Berkey Guy here. Are you still drinking unfiltered tap water? Does your water contain chlorine or fluoride? Will you have drinkable water in an emergency? The Berkey Guy is here to help you remove these and other potential contaminants from your water, thus helping you drink clean, purified water. We offer Berkey water purification systems at the lowest available prices online. Don't go another moment without Berkey system. Over the last 10 years, we've helped thousands drink clean, purified water. Join them by visiting goberkey.com or call me, the Berkey Guy, at 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653.
This is John Ragan at the controls today. Vincent is out herding heifers, and he'll be back tomorrow. Dr. Shealy, you were in the middle of talking about your vitamin D protocol.
Right. Well, for the last 10 years, I've taken 50,000 units a week, and maybe twice at the most a year if I feel as if what I call a bug knocking at the door, a little sore, raspy or whatever throat, I'll take 150,000 units 3 days in a row and then go back to once a week. And I haven't had a case of flu or cold in these 10 years. Now, my grandkids have been on 50,000 once a month, and the youngest was 4 years of age when we started this, and essentially this prevents them from having colds and flu. There was a study done in Australia, well over 20 years ago. They gave 600,000 units to school kids at the beginning of the year. It cut down the incidence of flu and viruses, type things by at least 80%.
Well, let me tell you, one of the things I've done is, if you're paying attention to your body, there's differences that you feel, things coming on. One is where you're feeling just a bit run down. You're just thinking, it might be happening. And then there's the other times where, I feel that big one coming. So when I feel that little one, basically what I'll do is I'll just take another vitamin D right at that point, midweek, where I normally would take it on Sunday. However, if I feel that big thing coming on, that's when I do those 3 a day for 3 days.
Right. And again, anyone out there, you will have infinitely better protection from flu and virus and colds than you would with a flu shot, which I have not had in at least 35 years.
Now, the other side of that, too, is when you do take a vitamin D3 supplement, you really need to add the K2 onto that so the calcium goes to the right places.
Exactly. And, although the minimum suggestion is 100 micrograms, I honestly think 15 milligrams is better. And there's really good evidence that taking up to 45 milligrams of vitamin K2 for people who have a really weak immune system is almost as good as taking the extra vitamin D.
And this kind of segues into an article that I had pulled up to discuss today. It was something Dr. McCullough had posted about a month ago on the 11 most common nutrient deficiencies. And I wanted to not just touch on what we can do today, but planning for that time, when the poop hits the props, then we can't just, go to the internet and order some things. With vitamin D, I don't think you can do anything besides stock up, which, these 50,000 unit capsules are really inexpensive in the scheme of supplements. So you can get a few years supply of that.
John. You know what I would do if I was really concerned? I would get myself a vacuum packer. Do you know about those? A glass jar vacuum packer?
Right.
And I've had one for well over 30 years. And I would probably put 2-3 bottles of the vitamin D3 in a small glass jar, seal it, vacuum pack it, and then put it in the basement. So it's going to be, cool, not cold, but at least cool. And I bet that would keep 20 years without any worry at all. And of course, one bottle of the vitamin D3 is good for 100 weeks, which is almost 2 years.
Yeah, that one's pretty hard to beat. Another one is omega-3 fats. And for that, there's no good way of storing fats. You just need to be raising your own food.
Well, that's true. One of the reasons that I've lived on a farm for 45 years, soon to be 46, is exactly that. I really prefer to grow as much of my food as I can. I've just been looking this morning at a little late, but I'm going to see if I can't plant some Chinese cabbage, because if I cover it with polypropylene row cover, I might get it to live all through the winter.
This is John Ragan with Dr. Norman Shealy. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't take on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
You haven't experienced yogurt until you've tried a Mossy, embodying health and flavor in a true whole milk, green-fed dairy beverage. Every sip pays homage to our old world cows and the ancient culturing methods their milk benefits from. With over 30 probiotics, a Mossy's undeniably nutritious, refined, cultured sensation bolsters your health and awakens your passion for dairy. A Mossy's so good, and you need to try it. Contact your Youngevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Ted Anderson telling you about Jordan Rubin's Beyond Organic Green-Fed Raw Cheddar Artesian Cheese featuring whole milk created through ancient dairy breeding, unpasteurized, untreated whole milk on the same farm the cows graze, containing natural sources of omega-3s, CLA protein, calcium, probiotics, and enzymes. I have never tasted cheese this good, and you need to try it. Contact your Youngevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
It's time to kick some ash, because cigarettes have met their match. Smokers are switching to Vaporite e-liquid by LeSig, because when you kick ash, you kick tar and smelly smoke too. LeSig smokes the competition with real people customer service, a 7-day satisfaction guarantee, and same-day fast free shipping. Become a vapor today at LeSig.com, spelled LECIG.com. LeSig e-cigarettes. Kick some ash.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline.
If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 pain relief hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 pain hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to produce an endless supply of nano-sized silver solutions right from the convenience of your home. Silver Lungs. With the addition of our unique lung delivery system, respiratory infections are targeted directly, where traditional oral administration simply cannot reach. This pioneering method also preserves the original particle sizes and delivers your silver solution directly into the bloodstream. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
Leave it alone. It'll come back around. Does that sound familiar? Most financial professionals are telling their clients that very thing. Don't panic. The stock market goes up. The stock market goes down. The real question you should be asking your financial professional is, do I have an exit strategy so I don't see a repeat of 2008? Look, friends, right now there are rumors circulating by many economists and self-proclaimed financial gurus that something significant could happen in September. I feel it's incumbent to warn you and help you at the same time. My friends at the Wealth Preservation Institute have a free report on how you can have an exit strategy. It's called How to Survive the Upcoming Economic Collapse and Protect Your Savings, Retirement, 401ks, IRAs, and Income. Don't hesitate. Don't wait for another 2008. Call right now, 888-772-2929. That's 888-772-2929 for that free report, How to Survive an Upcoming Economic Collapse.
Pencils, paper, notebooks, iPads. Class is now in session. USAPrepares.com. Educational radio. Set your memory to high power. Your USAPrepares.com instructor, Vincent Finelli, at the controls.
This is John Ragan at the controls today, and Dr. Norman Shealy is here with us. And we were in the middle of discussing most common nutrient deficiencies. And I want to go ahead and go to number 3 on the list because we've already talked about a little bit, and that's vitamin K2. And again, this is something that's very easy to sit down on the internet and order or go down to your local health food store. But what happens, when those no longer exist? And a couple of the ways of doing that is in Dr. McCullough's list here is fermented foods, which include vegetables like sauerkraut, and that doesn't get any easier. You just make cabbage, and there you are. You pretty much just put that in your crock, and it does say here that it helps to have a starter culture that has bacterial strains that are designed to produce K2, and
as
also
well as probiotics.
Yes, and raw dairy products, but that's only from grass-fed animals. So there are ways of doing it, but again, it gets back to raising your own food, and of course, in this case, just knowing how to do some simple things like fermentation.
Well, are you aware of the one jar at a time way of doing it? The old zinc bottle tops with a rubber band?
Go ahead and tell us about that.
Well, it's the way my grandmother used to do a lot of her canning. But you can get these zinc coated ones, they have sort of a porcelain insert in the very top. And you have these wide red rubber bands you put around the top of the jar, and then you close the top after you have filled it with your cabbage and a little salt. And of course, it could be any member of the cabbage family. You know, it can be a kale, it can be chard, it can be Brussels sprouts, broccoli, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All of them will ferment very nicely. And so you fill up the jar with the chopped up food, put half a teaspoon to a maximum teaspoon of salt in the top, and be sure it's got enough of the juice of the cabbage or a little bit of water if necessary. So it's right up near the top. Then you tighten up this zinc top on the rubber thing. And you have to tighten it a little bit every few days because as it begins to ferment, the gas increases the pressure inside and loosens the cap a little bit. But it may take a week or 10 days of regular tightening of it. But then after it's finished fermenting, it'll keep 5 years. And so you can have, I found recently a jar of fermented basil even. I had fermented that way several years ago. And so I do think fermented foods, naturally fermented foods, are one of the best foods in the world for you, not only for the vitamin K that they produce, but also the probiotics.
Yeah, and number 4 on the list is one you've talked about quite a bit, magnesium. And at least that one is a little bit easier to store up. And I know you've already talked about how as you get older, your body doesn't absorb things as well. And with magnesium, if you try to up the dosage, you can get a laxative effect there.
Well, yeah, that's true at all ages, especially in men. Magnesium does tend to increase gut transit time. And I found over almost 20 years ago that the simplest, safest way to absorb magnesium is through the skin. It works infinitely faster than any known preparation by mouth. And so either you could store the magnesium lotion for years, it's not going to go bad, or you could have on hand a big bag of magnesium chloride that you can use in case of emergency. You can make yourself a foot bath. And if you're in an emergency situation and, you're not going to have a lot of outside work to do, so you can certainly find 30 minutes a day to soak your feet in a pan of magnesium chloride water. And you can reuse that water for at least up to a week. So that's another way of doing it.
Okay, and I know Vincent wanted to talk to you about Epsom salts today, which is another type of magnesium salt.
Well, it's magnesium sulfate, and we found, I don't know why, because theoretically once it's in solution, it should be the sulfate floating around and the magnesium floating around instead of the magnesium and the chloride. But it's not absorbed through the skin nearly as well as magnesium chloride. Halitosis said no breath at all. I'd rather have it than none. But we consider the magnesium chloride to be several times faster and more efficient than Epsom salt.
And that was actually a question I had for you today, because I'd heard magnesium chloride was better than Epsom salts, and I wanted your opinion on that. So you were mind reading.
Good. Well, it's almost my standard pap about magnesium. I've been looking at magnesium now since 1988, and it is one of my favorite supplements.
Well, another vitamin is B12.
Yes. Now, the problem with B12 is that with the huge number of people who are taking proton pump inhibitors, Prilosec, that kind of thing, you lose your ability to absorb vitamin B12 from in the intestines. And in fact, even without taking proton pump inhibitors, many people by age 60 have lost something called intrinsic factor made in the stomach and don't absorb B12 well through the mouth or stomach. And the best way, simplest for most people, is to get methyl B12 in a chewable or sublingual tablet. Now, my mother in her 70s, after some kind of accident, suddenly became extremely B12 deficiency. Her mother, I know, in her 80s was deficient in B12. So I started taking it in a sublingual way several years ago. And, I'm 80, would be 83 in a month. And this summer I had my B12 level checked, and it was very high. So either I'm still absorbing it by mouth, or the taking it the way I'm taking it keeps me with adequate B12. But I do recommend that you get methyl B12 and the sublingual. It's just safer to focus on that.
Now, that's what I do. And I guess that's another one of those things that we can stock up on. But even if we can't do that, you do get B12 from animal sources of food. And that, again, it comes back to raising your own food. And you may have to eat parts of, the cow or chicken that you don't normally do. It talks about beef liver, grass-fed especially, would be high in B12. So it's...
Well, I don't know about you, but my favorite part of a chicken or a turkey or a cow is the liver. In my house growing up, we had liver at least twice a month. It was just a staple part of our food, so I never learned not to use it. And, by the way, even my children like an old family recipe called liver nips. It's a German, it's essentially a liver dumpling, and you chop up the liver and put it into beef broth, and then add flour and cook it. And then when it's sort of well mixed and semi-cooked, then you can let it cool in the refrigerator for a day or two. You take out little hunks and pan fry it in a tiny spit of olive oil, and it is absolutely smashingly delicious. One of my favorite recipes, and I said even my children loved liver nips growing up.
I think part of my problem is that I'd never found liver that was properly prepared, and I would use so much ketchup with it, I think I negate any of the good properties.
Well, when I go to buy my grass-fed chickens, a lot of people don't want their livers. They keep them separate, and so I always stock up on 20 pounds of chicken livers on the side.
Well, number 6 on the list is vitamin E.
And interestingly, we have found in the last decade that there are 2 families of vitamin E, the tocopherols, which have been known for 60 or 70 years or more, and the tocotrienols, which are about 10 times as powerful as the tocopherols, and powerfully important, both in helping to make your nitrates and nitrates more digestible and usable, but also as an antioxidant in general. Excellent anti-cancer, among other things. And so all you need is 100 milligrams a day of the gamma-delta tocotrienols. If you're using tocopherols, you only go up to 400 units a day.
And natural sources for these, at least the... we've got things like seeds and nuts, olive oil.
Nuts and seeds, of course, are your best bet for the vitamin E.
But you may have limited availability to nuts and seeds, so you may have to go with the legumes and green veggies.
Yep. And, of course, vacuum pack. I am a big believer in vacuum pack. You can vacuum pack your nuts.
Next on the list is vitamin A. We'll be back after this break.
By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Your house is under attack. Every day, our homes and families are attacked by harmful gases, mold, and pollutants caused by everyday activities. According to the EPA, indoor air can be 5 to 100 times worse than outdoor air. And the American Lung Association states that poor indoor air can cause infections and chronic lung diseases such as asthma. Protect your family with a complete indoor air quality package from Wave Home Solutions. Wave ventilation units for basements and crawl spaces reduce moisture that nourishes mold, odors, dust mites, and expels gases and pollutants. Add the Wave 6-stage air purifier to get rid of the viruses, chemicals, and pollutants upstairs for a complete indoor air quality solution. A healthy home is the best investment you can make. Visit WaveHomeSolutions.com. That's WaveHomeSolutions.com, or call 888-758-WAVE. That's 888-758-WAVE.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Why would you go anywhere else? KD offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free water purification kit for a limited time with any body armor package. Go to KDArmor.com. That's CATI armor.com. Come and take it.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
Right now, Vince is out there trying to convince the cows that the grass is greener on this side of the fence. This is John Ragan with Dr. Norm Shealy, and we're in the middle of a list showing that we have no deficiencies. Number 7 is vitamin A.
And there is an interesting one, because most people think of vitamin A as the kind found in cod liver oil, and that can be toxic. The animal form of vitamin A, which comes from especially fish liver, I understand that polar bear liver is even stronger, but if you're taking even 10,000 units of animal-derived vitamin A, it can become quite toxic to your bones and your brain. So you don't need any animal vitamin A. What you need is that comes from plants, and that is a broad variety of things. And I bet you may not know the number one vegetable source of vitamin A: sweet potatoes.
Okay.
They are extremely high in natural beta-carotene type things. Beta-carotene is almost unlimited in its safety. You could take 500,000 units a day totally safely. Astaxanthine, which is another, of the family of carotenoids, is my favorite of the vitamin A family. Many, many years ago, after excessive antibiotics for sinus infection, I developed severe allergies to everything. And I controlled it for a number of years by taking 500,000 units of beta-carotene and 4,000 units or more of vitamin C. But eventually, now for at least the last 8 or 10 years, I get by with 20 milligrams of astaxanthine a day. And for the average person, I think 10 milligrams a day is adequate. It also protects the skin from sunburn better than any of the other products that I know. So I strongly, strongly recommend that people take, 4 milligrams of a day is what I call minimum maintenance, but 10 milligrams is better of astaxanthine as the ideal vitamin A. But you can get it out of all of the red and yellow, orange vegetables.
Yeah, and that's the key there, is what do we do when the store isn't there? And the bottom line that was in this article is by eating colorful vegetables.
That's right. I like all of them. Carrots, of course, are second only to sweet potatoes as being a natural source of the beta-carotene part of the family. So, be sure to have on hand adequate seeds. Again, you could store seeds for up to 5 or more years in a vacuum-packed jar. And so, of your favorite foods that you want to have available in case of emergency, obviously, there's no such thing I know of as sweet potato seeds. Maybe they can be made, I don't know. But you can certainly store your carrot seeds and your pepper seeds and those kinds of things, which would be excellent sources for vitamin A.
Number 8 is iodine.
Now, there is a huge biggie because this country as a whole is deficient in iodine in the soil.
And unfortunately, most of us don't live next to the sea, and even those that do, boy, is there contamination. We'll talk about iodine when we get back from the top of the hour break.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and bad tweets can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. It happens a lot, and it's just not fair. But what can you do? Reputation.com can protect your good name. Get a free consultation now at 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system, and the analysis is absolutely free. Make the best things about you jump out in searches. Protect your personal and professional reputation, your business, and your income. Get your free reputation analysis from Reputation.com right now. Call 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares Unfiltered and Untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares Untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Hi, I'm Rick Ossick with Famous Footwear. Did you know that premature birth is the #1 killer of babies? That's why we support the March of Dimes in the fight against premature birth. Join us in supporting cutting-edge research, treatment programs, and outreach to help moms have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. Learn how you can help save babies' lives at marchofdimes.org.
This is John Ragan sitting in for Vincent today. He had a cow outbreak and is working on getting those back from neighbors' yards and wherever they decided to go off to. And with us today is Dr. Norman Shealy. And if you have not signed up for his newsletter, you can do that at normshealy.com. That's SHEALY. And after inflation, the price on that is free.
You bet.
And we were talking about iodine.
Yes, now that's something that you can't easily get from the soil or from food unless you're eating seafood. And today, I don't trust any seafood from at least the Pacific Ocean because of radiation from Fukushima. I don't know how long it'll be before the Atlantic Ocean is equally contaminated. At any rate, I think people should have a minimum of 1.5 milligrams every day of their life of iodine. The two best sources are either iodoral, IODORAL, or Swanson's triple iodine product formula. Each capsule contains 12.5 milligrams, which one a week is adequate to prevent significant iodine deficiency. Now, you can absorb iodine through the skin, but the idea of painting on your skin every day doesn't seem to me to be very practical or aesthetic.
Well, the other problem is if you want to go out and get like Lugol solution, which is what Dr. Tennant recommended to me years ago, is now the government says if you want iodine, you must be wanting to make drugs. So they limit how much and what concentration you can buy now.
Now, I probably shouldn't give this out in case the blank government is listening. However, you can still get 7% iodine from veterinary supply houses. Not available from human place sources, but it's available from animal drug sources, and you can buy it on the internet.
I know nothing.
You didn't hear it here.
We have a caller, Kyle from Montana. Welcome to USA Prepares.
Good morning. Y'all there?
Actually, I've kind of got a medical question for you, and it's more about my wife. I'm curious. She's been going through this menopause thing for about 2 years, and dealing with extreme heat and then extreme chills, and then also with that just extreme fatigue. And she takes the tangy tangerine, a couple of scoops a day, and a lot of other different vitamins, like thyroid support and some kind of a adrenal support at the same time, but nothing seems to be working. And I was wondering if you had any ideas on that.
Oh, yes. At the top of my list would be Air Bliss. It's an essential oil mixture that you put on 13 specific acupuncture points. Photographs of the points come with a bottle. It provides, I think, as a single approach, the best alternative. I've had women within 24 hours get marked menopausal symptoms under control. If that doesn't work adequately, my second bet would be natural progesterone cream, which you would use one pump. It comes in a little pump bottle. One pump twice a day on the skin. And since she's postmenopausal, it would be every day. Now, there are some preparations that are made specifically and have been around for 100 years. Some herbal preparations like black and blue cohosh, Don Quai, etc. It used to be sold way back. Even when I was a child, as Lydia Pinkham's Compound, but you can find it at health food stores, often called women's formula or something like that. But I would start with Air Bliss, and if that didn't work adequately, I would add natural progesterone cream. And then if that didn't work, I'd go to the herbs. And, of course, there's a rare person in which that doesn't work, and then they need a prescription for a compounding pharmacy where you begin to mix progesterone with estriol. Now, you could try vaginal estriol cream, which is the only over-the-counter estrogen preparation that I know, before going to the compounding. But to me, it would be one step at a time. Air Bliss, if that doesn't work, add natural progesterone cream. If that doesn't work, try the herbals. If that doesn't work, then begin to experiment with estrogen. And finally, maybe 1% or less of women need a little bit of testosterone, which also you have to get from a compounding pharmacy.
Okay. And then I had just one other question on the iodine. I have this stuff, it's called a nascent iodine. It comes in a little dropper bottle, and I put maybe 3 drops underneath my tongue in the morning. It burns pretty good, but that doesn't bother me. And I'm wondering what you think about that idea.
It's fine. Actually, when I did my research on it, I did a preparation called liquid iodine by Biotics, and that has 75 micrograms per drop. So it depends on how many micrograms are in the drops. And, of course, we found that using the Biotics preparation with 75 micrograms a drop, it took anywhere from 10 to 20 drops a day for people to get saturated with adequate iodine.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Thank you. It's a great program, John. You're doing a great job.
Thank you
for calling.
You bet. Thank you, Dr. Shealy.
Well, in addition to stocking up with iodine, you can get some in raw milk and eggs. So you might want to help Vincent chase down cows and take a swig.
And that's largely because they've probably gotten it out of some of the supplements they're getting.
And that gets into a whole new can of worms about proper nutrition for your animals.
Exactly. Well, the one thing that I always point out about nutrition for cattle especially is cattle farmers know that if they do not give their cattle extra magnesium, they die of something called grass staggers. It's sort of like almost like epilepsy. And yet vegetable farmers don't add magnesium to the soil growing your vegetables.
Okay, getting back to the list, number 9 is calcium.
The interesting thing about calcium, if you're eating a wide variety of foods and take adequate vitamin D, you do not need a calcium supplement. So if you're eating at least 1 or 2 servings of green veggies a day, or having some yogurt or any kind of milk products, you don't need a calcium supplement. We have many more problems with excess calcium than deficient calcium.
We've already talked about the importance of K2 to make sure the calcium gets to the right place too. And
that's true.
It also talks about having silica and magnesium.
Well, now I'm glad you brought that one up. But even my barber yesterday noticed my hair. I started taking diatomaceous earth whenever it was. We did it at one of the roundups many months ago. And my hair now grows 50% faster than it used to. Vince and I were talking about this last week. And so I asked my barber yesterday, and she agreed. In fact, for most of my life, I've had a haircut every 3 weeks. Now I look as shaggy at 2 weeks as I used to at 3 weeks. And there's just no question. My hair has benefited from the silica in diatomaceous earth. I think there are other benefits, of course, as well. But I looked at my bald spot. It didn't grow hair back on my bald spot. But where I do have hair, it's growing faster.
Number 10 on the list is iron.
Now, iron is a biggie for men especially, to be careful not to overdo it. In general, unless you are a woman who is having somewhat excess bleeding with your period, you do not need an iron supplement. Actually, iron deficiency is exceedingly rare, except in women who are still menstruating. And the problem is that men, about 1 man in 100, not bad, but that 1 man in 100, it can be fatal, has something called iron storage disease, in which the liver gets overloaded with iron and it can actually kill you. So I do not recommend taking a multivitamin even with added iron. One of the reasons I made my Dr. Shealy's Essential Multivitamin Mineral is to get a good all-round one that does not have iron in it. So in general, especially for men, I do not recommend taking extra iron. Now, if you find you're anemic, then you start, look at it differently.
And I think that was the important thing. There was 2 sides to that one. And I remember when I was young, my mother had problems, and the doctor would, have her take iron, and she'd even have B12 shots.
Well, of course, women who are, and men too, occasionally, who are deficient in iron for bleeding or other problems, do need to take iron, and they need to take extra vitamin C with it. Iron is absorbed much, much better if you take adequate vitamin C with it.
Well, coming up on a break. When we get back, we'll talk about the last one, number 11, choline.
By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration system and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
My name is Bill Bonner, and I have an important message. Right now, the highest levels of government are struggling against an inevitable crisis, but they're about to lose control. When this happens, it will rip our country apart in ways you never imagined. From where we shop to the family you want to protect. Look, I've made predictions like this before. A few years ago, I warned that the housing prices would collapse. Before that, I warned that .com companies would crash, and they did. Those who listened had a chance to save themselves. But this has nothing to do with the stock market. This will affect us all. I've posted a free video at $downfall.com. Maybe you'll disagree with my conclusions, but first you need to watch this video and see the facts for yourself. You can watch the video for free right now by going to $downfall.com. Again, that's $downfall.com.
You heard the discussions all over the radio. You couldn't believe what you were hearing. You trusted them. How could you have not seen the signs? You felt betrayed. Outrage set in. Your emotions began to consume you. Then, nothing. Now they're talking football. Days turn to weeks and months. Then, you've forgotten. But they haven't. They're still monitoring your every move. It's coming. Monitor blockitpocket.com. Or will you forget?
Did you know that drinking pure, high-alkaline water is one of the most important factors in maintaining high energy and vibrant health? Most experts agree that the water you drink should be at a pH level of 8 or higher. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops, available only at alkavision.com, combine a unique formula of only the most alkaline minerals. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops alkalize your water, ridding the body of harmful toxins, and helps you regain health and energy. Alkalizing your water by simply adding 10 drops of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops helps the body rid itself of acidic waste, increases oxygen content, and raises the pH of your body to healthy levels. And bacteria and viruses cannot survive in an alkaline high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops for only $29.95 at alkavision.com. That's ALKAvision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com today.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS? Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
This is John Ragan sitting in for Vincent today, and John is at the controls at Genesis. Dr. Norm Shealy and I are going through a list of common nutrient deficiencies. Number 11 on the list is choline, and it's estimated that 90% of the U.S. population is deficient.
And you know why?
No, I don't.
Because for how many decades the idiot medical profession has been saying don't eat eggs? I mean, one of your best sources of choline is eggs. Now, the second best is lecithin, because lecithin has both, it has the makings for acetylcholine, which is by the way, critical for memory. It is involved in really fat metabolism in general, as well as the big methyl transfer comment. It's also important for regulating the blood level of something called homocysteine, which I call a transvestite protein, to the dismay of my psychology son. But homocysteine is actually one of the most essential blood tests that every human being not later than age 30 should have as a blood test. Because if it's elevated above 7.5, it markedly increases your risk of heart disease, stroke, and cancer. And but the number one need, I guess, is for memory. So eggs have choline, meat, poultry, fish are your best sources, and some dairy products.
Now, the list I'm looking at says you include things like beef liver, raw milk, Brussels sprouts, broccoli.
Yeah, all of these things have some choline in them, and obviously the very best is eggs and meat and poultry and fish, etc. And dairy products are certainly on that list.
Can you think of any other deficiencies that weren't covered there?
Well, yeah, a big one. Water. The average person drinks far, far too little water. Just last week, a mother was talking about a slightly brain-damaged child having chronic constipation. And it turned out he's drinking about 1/4 the amount of water that he should. And if you don't drink enough water, you're probably going to become constipated, because you do need water for many, many things. The best answer for water is to take your weight in pounds, divide it by 2, and drink that many ounces of water a day. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you need 75 ounces of water. Now, in general, coffee especially does not count as water. And of course, pop, not only does it count as water, but it counts as a poison, because it's loaded with phosphorus, among others, and sugar. But you need to drink water. And again, my number one recommendation to anybody living in a city is, please find a way of drinking non-city water. You do not wish to drink fluoride.
I remember the good old days when Vincent was on the local station there, and and I needed to pause and take a break. All I had to do was say fluoride.
That's right. Well, fluoride is a true total brain-body poison. There is no such thing as a deficiency in fluoride. There's only an excess or toxicity of fluoride.
And then we just add all kinds of other heavy metals on top of that.
Yes.
We've got, and now we've got a break. Dr. Shealy and I will be back in just a few minutes.
There are hundreds of silver products on the market today, but there's nothing like the astonishing health benefits of the multi-patented One Silver Solution. Boost your immune system at a great price with our Silver Solution Liquid, starting at $12.95 a bottle. Now available in regular and extra strength. That's half the price of the leading competitors. Call 844-USE-SILVER for your free catalog, or go to onesilversolution.com. onesilversolution.com. There is only one Silver Solution.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Did you know that drinking pure, high alkaline water is one of the most important factors in maintaining high energy and vibrant health? Most experts agree that the water you drink should be at a pH level of 8 or higher. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops, available only at alkavision.com, combine a unique formula of only the most alkaline minerals. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops alkalize your water, ridding the body of harmful toxins, and helps you regain health and energy. Alkalizing your water by simply adding 10 drops of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops helps the body rid itself of acidic waste, increases oxygen content, and raises the pH of your body to healthy levels. And bacteria and viruses cannot survive in an alkaline high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops for only $29.95 at alkavision.com. That's ALKAvision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com today.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
My name is Bill Bonner, and I have an important message. Right now, the highest levels of government are struggling against an inevitable crisis, but they're about to lose control. When this happens, it will rip our country apart in ways you never imagined, from where we shop to the family you want to protect. Look, I've made predictions like this before. A few years ago, I warned that the housing prices would collapse. Before that, I warned that .com companies would crash, and they did. Those who listened had a chance to save themselves, but this has nothing to do with the stock market. This will affect us all. I've posted a free video at $downfall.com. Maybe you'll disagree with my conclusions, but first you need to watch this video and see the facts for yourself. You can watch the video for free right now by going to $downfall.com. Again, that's $downfall.com.
I am a 47-year-old female and had a heart attack in 2005. This is Alice from New Jersey. I still get angina, even with 4 stents. I was taking nitro 2 or 3 times a week. The very first day after taking Heart and Body Extract, the chest pain was gone. Now I don't wear a nitro patch.
Learn the secrets of an effective, natural, 100% organic nutritional supplement for a healthy heart and circulation at hbextract.com.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and bad tweets can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. It happens a lot, and it's just not fair. But what can you do? Reputation.com can protect your good name. Get a free consultation now at 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system, and the analysis is absolutely free. Make the best things about you jump out in searches. Protect your personal and professional reputation, your business, and your income. Get your free reputation analysis from Reputation.com right now. Call 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771.
And choline is one of those things good for memory. This is John Ragan with Dr. Norman Shealy. We have another call. And Deborah from Kentucky. You're on with Dr. Shealy.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Fine. Go ahead.
Oh, good. Dr. Shealy, I'm calling for a friend that couldn't be on the call today. She had a doctor appointment. And this is a request for your recommendation for a safe transition from 5 milligrams of warfarin and 60 milligrams of enoxaparin that is in 2 shots per day, because she had a blood clot after 3 days after varicose vein surgery. And what she's wanting to do as a safe transition is nanokinase and nepronol, which I'm sure you know, but just for clarity, that's enzyme therapy, and bromelain.
Well, it sounds to me as if she's already looked up the things I was going to recommend.
Well, the recommendations are most appreciative, but we're pretty on track with staying as totally committed to health as we can be. But the concern is the transition from the medication safely. She'd like to just stop the medications or get off as soon as possible and transition to the protocol that I mentioned.
How long ago was the blood clot?
It's not quite a week.
Okay, that's a little fast, in my opinion. You know, I would say under proper medical control, I think since she's already on the medication, it would be somewhat safer to stay on it for about a month and then wean off rapidly. But weaning off...
This is very comforting, because you know that they would like to keep you on it for 6 months, but we want to do it safely.
Well, and medically that is the standard. If it were my body, I would definitely start adding, especially natokinase, and if the tummy tolerates it, a small bit of aspirin. And cutting the drug prescription in half for about a week and then stopping it and going to the full alternative protocol. That's what I would do if it was my body. But I would definitely...
With your recommendation that you just clarified, would that be at the 4-week point?
Yes.
Or okay.
No, I would strongly prefer to wait at least 4 weeks.
All right. And then what about any implementation of the holistic side, the natokinase and the nepronol? Should we wait?
Yes, I would wait. I wouldn't start that at all until you're ready to wean off the medication.
Okay, this is so helpful.
Well, blessings. I hope it works well, but I definitely would not do it any sooner.
Okay. She was doing aspirin as a hopeful preventative, and apparently
it didn't work.
Wasn't strong enough, or it might have needed to be something else.
Exactly. Well, that's all the more reason for staying on it, I think, at least a month.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks for calling.
Have a beautiful day.
And you.
Thank you.
John,
yes.
We haven't talked about what I call your field of expertise today. And I want to ask the big question. And the big question is, as there has been almost every month this year, predictions from one or several people that we're going to have a crash any day. The last warning came in October, definitely November 3rd through the 5th, the time for all-time hell to break loose. Well, I don't know. Today is the 4th already, and I haven't even seen a small brush fire so far. Do you have any predictions, feelings about economic catastrophe?
Well, it's one of those things I've been talking about ever since I came out with the Financial State of the Union. And things are positioned where they can pull the trigger any time and cause problems.
Right.
And in many ways, I'm surprised we didn't see bigger correction there. I'm seeing a lot of undercurrents that we could still see a significant downturn before the end of the year, much like we saw back in 2008, where people lost half their 401k value in a very short period of time. And whether that happens or not, don't worry. We're not getting out of this mess without a financial collapse. And if it does happen, that's not the event. That's just the beginning, much like the crash in 29 was the beginning of the Depression. Because it's an election year, I know there's a lot of market manipulation, trying to keep things on normalcy, because it's it's better for campaigning purposes, if you know what I mean.
Right. Well, the government is going to fake it and never make it in the long run, as long as they can.
In fact, I saw a report this morning. They've been faking the debt numbers because the ability to extend the debt had expired, and Obama signed the new law, which extended eliminating the cap through. It gives the next president a couple of months to deal with the problem when he gets in office, or she gets in office. Hopefully not. And the amount that the debt went up from when they opened the Treasury on November 2nd to the time they closed the day, November 2nd, was over $300 billion increase in debt. And that just gets back to where they were faking it. And when you look at where this makes a difference, is when you start looking at that end of year debt amount, the amount for this year is going to be low, probably in that neighborhood. I'm going to take a closer look so I can say exactly how much. Are you ready for another caller?
I am ready.
We have Susie from Arkansas. Welcome, Susie.
Hello?
Susie?
Are y'all there?
Oh, yes. Good morning. It's I heard you earlier talking about the fermented foods, Dr. Shealy. And
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing her well, John. Can we up the volume somehow?
I'll try to talk louder. Does that help?
That helps, yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Earlier you were talking about fermented foods.
Yes.
And you mentioned the old-fashioned sort of bluish jars with a top that had zinc insert.
Yes.
And I'm old enough to remember those. And you talked about the rubber seal that goes around the top when you put the top on.
Right.
Now, I have two questions there. One, do you know where I can get those seals? Because I do have, I think I've got at least 3 of those zinc top jars.
Well, I have, I think, about a dozen of them, which I've had for years. And the last time I bought them, I got them at a hardware store here in Springfield, Missouri.
Oh, really?
So I think they're still available at some places. Rubber rings. I'm looking up rubber rings for jars. I just found it on the internet, and here they are. KILNER, large rubber replacement seals. Looks like the rice rubber. Oh, Amazon, of course.
Of
Always
course.
Amazon. They say they have them. I haven't. Yeah, here we go. Replacement gaskets for 1 liter glass canning jars. Pack of 6.
Oh.
And here's a pack of 12. by Viceroy, Viceroy.
Okay.
And there's two. Okay, so there are lots of them on Amazon.
Excellent.
I have to say, whatever one wants to think about Amazon, it is where you can find things that you can't find anywhere else practically anymore.
That's so true. I'm not online, but I can get my brother to get things for me.
Right. Well, the number one company seems to be called KILNER.
Okay.
But there are some others.
Okay.
But
now
they are widely available.
Okay. The other question I had was, you said when you put the top on and you use that rubber seal, if I'm remembering correctly, and then you said you gradually, now do you tighten it?
Yes, you tighten it as tight as you can with your hands the first day.
Okay, and just keep tightening it.
And then every day or two, check it because it'll begin to drip a little bit as it expands.
Okay. And how many days before it would be ready to use?
It takes roughly two weeks to stop expanding, and most of the time you've got it pretty well sealed by then.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. I knew there was a reason I kept those jars. Thank you very much.
That's great. Thanks for calling.
Bye.
John Ragan with Dr. Norman Shealy. We'll be back after this commercial break.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
Attention, all men. Are you urinating more frequently? Do you wake up to urinate? Are you having a slower, weaker stream? Don't ignore the warning signs of your aging prostate. Get your free bottle of Super Beta Prostate. Super Beta Prostate is guaranteed to support a more complete emptying of your bladder, a fuller, stronger stream, and less waking at night to urinate.
Super Beta Prostate is a product that I really like. I endorse it. I use it myself. I was very pleasantly surprised that Super Beta Prostate helped me fairly quickly.
Super Beta Prostate is formulated with a natural plant enzyme called beta-cytosterol. It's so powerful, you'd have to take 100 saw palmetto pills to get the same sterols as just one Super Beta Prostate tablet. Don't ignore the warning signs of your aging prostate. Call now to get your free bottle of Super Beta Prostate. Call 1-800-853-1203. That's 1-800-853-1203. 800-853-1203.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to produce an endless supply of nano-sized silver solutions right from the convenience of your home. Silver Lungs. With the addition of our unique lung delivery system, respiratory infections are targeted directly, where traditional oral administration simply cannot reach. This pioneering method also preserves the original particle sizes and delivers your silver solution directly into the bloodstream. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
Your house is under attack. Every day, our homes and families are attacked by harmful gases, mold, and pollutants caused by everyday activities. According to the EPA, indoor air can be 5 to 100 times worse than outdoor air. And the American Lung Association states that poor indoor air can cause infections and chronic lung diseases such as asthma. Protect your family with a complete indoor air quality package from Wave Home Solutions. Wave ventilation units for basements and crawl spaces reduce moisture that nourishes mold, odors, dust mites, and expels gases and pollutants. Add the Wave 6-stage air purifier to get rid of the viruses, chemicals, and pollutants upstairs for a complete indoor air quality solution. A healthy home is the best investment you can make. Visit wavehomesolutions.com. That's wavehomesolutions.com or call 888-758-WAVE. That's 888-758-WAVE.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor period, with packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Why would you go anywhere else? KD offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free water purification kit for a limited time with any body armor package. Go to KDArmor.com. That's CATI Come and take it.
It's John Ragan with Dr. Norman Shealy, and I'd like to get a quick question in here. And I didn't know how to give any advice on this situation, and it's not where this couple needs anything. They're a couple that's between us in age, and they ended up passing a yeast infection back and forth, and the man ended up having to get a circumcision. And I just, wouldn't know how to give advice for somebody else in the same situation. I was wondering what you'd say.
Well, you can get boron suppositories for the woman. For the man, I would use Vicks Vapor Rub. In fact, the generic, chest rub would work. It is the single simplest, safest fungus killer that I know.
Okay.
But I wouldn't put that in the vagina. I think it'd be uncomfortable.
And did I end up answering your question sufficiently?
Well, yes. I mean, obviously, everybody in the world has his or her opinion one way or the other. But the alarmists have been particularly active this year, it seems to me, more than most. And with good reason. But
yeah. There's signs, and it's that time of year. And, when you see cycles like the 7-year cycle that have been going on for a while, and we're still not out of danger on that. It still can happen. But as it gets closer to the end of the year, probably less and less and less, our wonderful administration gets us into a war. And at that point, it's kind of like all bets are off.
Well, that's true. Idiots do odd things. And we've had idiots now for 7 years. So, but, I blame Congress as much as I do Obama.
Absolutely.
I mean, if we had, 1 milligram of testosterone in the whole of Congress, I think things would be different. They're all eunuchs with no balls. That's all I could take. I know I've got to learn how to express myself, but...
Yes, if only we knew how you really felt.
Oh, I probably wouldn't use those words on the radio. So that tells you what I really think right there. But, I don't spend a lot of time focusing on it. I spend more time focused on what I need to do, and I think that's really the bottom line, is no matter how bad the situation is, each of us individually is not going to change it. I'm not sure that it can be changed without a civil war at this point, and if the bitch is elected next year, I think our 50-50 chance of a civil war is going up to about 75-80% chance of a civil war.
You reminded me of a story back from the Clinton administration, and since baseball season just wrapped up, the opening of the season, the president attends, it's all big deal, and they go out to him, and all of a sudden he throws Hillary out of the stands, and the guy said, "No, Mr. President," I said, "throughout the first pitch."
Yeah, I remember that one, and I hope she's not the first bitch in the White House.
I've got another issue that happened with this time change, and I'm finding it harder than it used to be to stay up later to try and get my body adjusted to this new time. Do you have any suggestions on that?
Have you tried timed release melatonin?
No, I haven't. I do have some, and I can do that.
I would try timed release melatonin and some taurine, maybe 3,000 or 4,000 milligrams of taurine.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dr. Shealy, and
thank you, John. Have a great week.
You too.
By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
My name is Don Wiskin, and at 42 years old, I suffered a massive heart attack and was told I'd be on disability for the rest of my life. What did I do? I created Extendivite, a garlic and cayenne mix of 7 herbs which rebuilt my heart and gave me back my life. For over 17 years now, I have made this formula available to you, so you don't have to suffer the same thing I did. Clean your blocked arteries and strengthen your heart and boost your natural immune system. I'm 60 years old now, and I still work every day. To get your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit heartdrop.com. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid.
Extend your life with Extendovite.